Feel good.
Okay, we're now live. Wait for some people to join. Okay, hello everybody and welcome. My name's Jaymie and I'm marketing coordinator at Happy Fabric, and this is Andy.
Hi everyone.
And today we're at Happy Fabric HQ, and today we're doing a really exciting live. So we've got two HappyPresses here today. This is the HappyPress 4 A3 and this is the HappyPress 4 in A4. And today I'm just going to go through some of the features, how to set them up, some of the frequently asked questions, and also we're going to do a really quick demo at the end. So don't worry if you've not used a heat press before. We're going to make it really easy for you to follow along. And if you already own a HappyPress or a heat press, you'll be able to ask questions as well. So please do pop some questions in the comment section as well. So so as I said, today we'll be talking through the features of the HappyPress and also giving you a quick demo as well and answering your questions. So to start with the obvious question, what is a heat press? So heat press you can use to apply heat transfer vinyl, you can use it to apply heat transfers, and you can also use it for sublimation as well. So in terms of a HappyPress heat press, like these two here, why specifically a HappyPress? So they give accurate heat, no cold spots. They've also got what's known as over-center pressure. So all areas of whatever you're pressing will get the right amount of pressure and the right amount of heat. They also come in three beautiful colours. So we've got the turquoise here, the white here, and we also do it in pink. So whatever your craft room looks like, it's going to fit in beautifully. So, and in terms of price as well, before we begin, our Black Friday sale is still live at the moment until tomorrow. So the HappyPress in A3 is usually £435, but in the Black Friday sale, it's only £369.75. So that's a really great offer. And also the A4, HappyPress 4, usually it's £360, and at the moment it's only £306 in the Black Friday sale. And we'll get into exactly why that's such great value for money in this live today. So as I said, they come in three colours, the HappyPresses, turquoise, white and pink. They also come in different sizes. So this is the HappyPress 4, this is the A3, and this is the A4. And to get into the features now. So if you look at the top, they've all got a little screen with some buttons. So straight out of the box, when you're setting up your HappyPress, you'll be able to set your temperature. Andy, do you want to talk us through the upper and lower temperature setting options?
So if anyone has any questions as we're going along, please just leave a comment. We'd be happy to stop and answer them for you. So with the HappyPress, we're really excited about this digital temperature and time readout it has on the top here. As Jamie mentioned, we have the upper platen. We also have a lower platen temperature part in here. So this is something that will be coming out next year. But this is an option to have a lower heated platen. And this is something for anyone that's doing like polyester or nylons, has any problems with scorch marks. That's where you would need a lower platen. That'll be coming out next year. But basically, if you get a HappyPress, it comes out of the box like this. No need to build it or anything. It comes fully formed. All you need to do is turn it on at the back here, plug it into the wall, and then when it comes on, you're going to have a mode option here. So basically, it's really, really easy, just like setting a watch. All you do is you press mode once, ask you what temperature you want it to be. So this can be anything between 93 and 221 degrees Celsius. So anything you need to do with heat application, it's got you covered. And all you do is you go up and you go down until you get the temperature you want. This is going to be accurate to the degree. So no matter what you're doing, you don't need, it's not one of those cheap presses where you need to add an extra 10 degrees just to make sure it works. This is going to be what it says. So hit mode again. It's going to ask you to set a timer. So it's got a digital timer, so that means it's either going to beep or pop up when you're finished. It will ask you to cycle through the lower platen as well. This just means it's got the functionality already built in there for when you need it next year. But don't worry about it too much now. Just hit mode to go out of it. And that's it. Once you see the light is at the upper platen again, that means you're all set. So literally just a case of hitting that mode a couple of times, give it 10 minutes to heat up, and then straight away, you get straight stuck into it. You just put your press down, put your garment under there, your bag, t-shirts, whatever it is. And in this instance, with the auto open, it's going to pop up automatically for you. So really, really nice and easy to use. So no matter what you're doing, if say, kids are crying, pet's barking, door goes, phone goes, it means you've got that peace of mind, so that whenever you put something under that press, you can be preparing the next one. If it's a busy season like it is at the moment for people making stuff for Christmas, it just pops up automatically, gives you that peace of mind.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yep. So as Andy said, this is the auto open version of the press. And you can tell the difference because of this magnet just here. It's a silver magnet. This A4 doesn't have the auto open option. So you'll see it doesn't have the magnet there. Then when you pop it down, it'll give you the same beep on the timer. So it'll count down for you and a beep to let you know that it's done. And then you just lift it back up like that. So another really important thing as well, a frequently asked question, is how to adjust the pressure on the presses, because you might be going from, for example, pressing a t-shirt to maybe pressing something a bit thicker like a sweatshirt. All sorts of things can go and be pressed under the press. So you might need to change or adjust the pressure. And Andy, do you want to walk us through? So you've got quite a nice
so this is something, any one of you that's watching along and you might be doing some heat application, you've got an iron, or you've got one of those handheld box presses and you're looking to upgrade to something a bit more professional. Working out pressure is one of the most important things for you, if not the most important, because if you've got accurate pressure, that's what makes your designs, your transfers, heat transfer vinyl, that's what takes it from lasting, say, 10 washes with an iron to 50, 60 washes. So something you could sell commercially to someone. It's like a real professional product that will last and last and last. And the way you get that to last is by having that accurate pressure. So in the middle here, you've got this black knob here, which you can turn. It's little quarter turns, and that's all it takes to go from tiny to medium pressure to hard pressure. So whenever you buy heat transfer vinyl or heat transfers, it always tells you like go with medium pressure because that's going to give you the most accuracy. But it's always like, what does that even mean? Especially if you're using an iron, you're holding it down, you're like, I guess that's right. And then you pull it up and like, if it stays on, you think you're right. But with a heat press, because it clamps down itself, it gives you that bit more peace of mind and it gives you that bit more accuracy. So for instance, with this, when I pull it down, you can hear a click, and that means it's gone in. It doesn't have to be too much effort because we don't want this to be hard work for you, because we want you to be doing this all day if you can, especially if you're busy. So we always say you can do it with 2 fingers. So right here, I'm going to put it down with 2 fingers, clicks into place. You can feel that's nice and firm, and it's going to stay there until the buzzer goes and it comes back up. But a mistake a lot of people make is they get the heat press and they think, oh, I've got to really smash that transfer into the jumper or t-shirt that I'm wearing. But don't do that. One, it's not going to improve your application. So overpressuring is actually just as bad as light pressure. It means because essentially you're going past the transfer and you're just squashing the top. You're going to get a box around your design. It's going to be scorched and it's not going to look very pretty. And in the end, you're just going to break your heat press because you're just going to make it buckle and buckle and buckle over time. And it's not going to work. So why make something hard work when you don't need to? It should be really, really nice and easy to do. I'm just going to do it with the palm of my hand this time. Clicks into place, and just like that, you've got perfect pressure. That's all it takes. And depending if you have, say, go from a t-shirt to a hoodie, just turn it, little quarter turn, a little bit more, and you can put a tiny bit more pressure through it. That's all it takes. It shouldn't be hard work for you to do. It should be really, really nice and easy. Beeps, pops back up again, and you can move on to the next one.
Perfect. Yeah, so as a general rule, would you say it should sit about in the middle?
Yes, I guess it's something to bear in mind is that when we look at this, that's not light pressure at the bottom and hard pressure at the top. This thing needs to be this long for the structural integrity of the heat press, but it's really only 1.5 turns between light and full pressure. So when you're adjusting the pressure to get it right, just do these really tiny quarter turns at most. That's all it's going to need to be at full pressure. So really, really gentle terms. They always have like a t-shirt to hand that you don't mind messing up. So that way you can always check your press at the right temperature just by nudging it and nudging it and nudging it. And then you'll find that you get the right pressure. Once you're happy, you've not ruined any t-shirts or transfers at that point. Perfect.
Yep. So that covers the pressure. And then another really great feature about the HappyPress 4 as well, it also has a slide out drawer. So normally on a heat press, you'd be looking at like £2,000 or something for a press with a slide out drawer. If you look, it comes out all the way, which makes it really easy to thread a t-shirt on, things like that. If you're using HTV as well and you've got a design to arrange, It's absolutely brilliant. It is my favourite thing ever about the press, because it means you're not too close to the heat plate when you're arranging your design. You can pull it out, fully thread on the t-shirt, pop it back in, and you know it's going to look exactly how you want it.
Especially if you've got that really like detailed, tiny design, so you've got lots of different types of vinyl you're putting on at the same time. Just makes that a little bit easier to take it away from the heat for a minute then.
Exactly. I love hand cutting vinyl, so that is me all over. So if you'd be able to just demonstrate for us just how to thread a t-shirt,
yeah, of course,
onto the slide out drawer.
Yeah,
Should we
so let me
swap
come
places?
around. Yes, let's do that. So one of the mistakes, one of the issues you have with irons is you just put it down, you put your transfer on, and it just, that's it. There's no way of kind of regulating how much t-shirt that goes through, because really you don't want to be putting your heat transfer vinyl through both sides. You only want it to isolate one side, because you're going to get a better application. You don't have to worry about creases coming through from the back. If you have to iron something like a sleeve, you iron it, turn it back over and realize you've got a crease in it, that sort of thing. You want to make it really, really nice and simple for yourself. So by being able to pull that drawer out, you've got a much more threadable area. So it means when you take your t-shirt, you can just slide it over the top like that, just like that, and then you just isolate the areas you want. So you haven't got to worry about that collar being on there. If you haven't got a threadable area, you're just going to end up putting the back of the collar into the back of the t-shirt, and you have that semicircle, and it doesn't look very attractive. So that's why we always say, put your t-shirt on like that, make sure it's nice and centered, and then you've got all the areas, so there's no seams on here. It's all isolated away. Because this has got really accurate pressure, if you've got bulky parts or seams coming through, it's going to regulate on that area of the top. You don't want that. You want it to just be nice and smooth. So then you can just put your t-shirt in, just like that, pull it down, give it a quick pre-press. This is something that's always very important if you're heat printing. So anyone that's watching along that's never done any application before, you should always pre-press anything you do, even if it's a cushion cover or a bag, because there might be some moisture in the material. You want to get a nice flat surface, nice and smooth. So then when you put your transfer of vinyl down, you're going to get a perfect application that way. So do you want me to do a little application for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to take one of our heat transfers. So this is available on happyfabrictransfers.co.uk. So all you need to do with these is just take your logo, upload it, and then you can order these just by the ones. Get one.
So this means no weeding at all. So unlike heat transfer vinyl, you literally upload the design, as many colours as you want, as many as you can fit onto a sheet, and we send them ready to be cut out and pressed on.
Next step, get yourself some what we call happy release paper. It's a special, it's a bit like baking paper, but it's not as shiny, so you get a slightly nicer finish that way. But all it does is it just protects the t-shirt at the bottom. If you've left anything the wrong way up, it stops you from fusing it that way. And all you need to do is pop it on there. So you just need to change the timer on that, excuse me.
Sorry, yeah, I set the timer to 5 seconds.
So we'll change this to 12 seconds here. That way, that will be the perfect fusing time for our transfer. Pull it down. 12 seconds later, and we're going to be able to build this. So it'll be really, really nice and easy. So this is just how easy it is to create a retail quality t-shirt. Pull it up. Let's peel it off just like that. So I've already taken the carrier off hot. Then all we need to do is just pull it out. Take our t-shirt off, and I'll give you a real nice close-up for all of you. You can see, just like that, you put a really fantastic full color design on there. That's how easy it is to do. So all we had to do was pre-press the garment under here for 5 seconds, put a t-shirt on, with the t-shirt on, and then put it again under for 12 seconds with a transfer. Just like that, you made a t-shirt, and this will stay on there for like 60, 70 washes. This t-shirt will fall apart before this transfer comes off, because you've used high quality product and a high quality machine to go with it.
Exactly, and it's pretty much exactly the same process using the heat press for heat transfer vinyl as well. So this is some of our Happy Glitter. You can cut this one using a silhouette, a Cricut, a cutting machine, or you can just use scissors as well, and then it's exactly the same process. So make sure you pre-press what it's going on to using the press first, and then you pop your design on, one layer at a time for heat transfer vinyl, and then greaseproof paper or release paper on top, pop the press down again. After the timer's done, peel off the carrier, and it's done. Like Andy said, it will outlast the t-shirt or the garment if you're using a heat press, because you know you've got that exact pressure, that exact temperature, and it's going to be perfect every single time. So just to recap what we've gone over for anybody that's just joining in as well, we've just gone over some of the basic features of the HappyPress 4. So we've got the A3 here, and this is the A4 as well. That's a common question we get as well. What size do I need? That's completely up to you. You know, they'll both press the exact same things. You know, you can do heat transfer vinyl on them, heat transfer, sublimation. They both do exactly the same thing. One just has obviously a bit of a bigger area to press on. So
we always
they both do a good job.
Yeah, it's always best to think of what is the biggest thing you're going to be printing on there. So think about what you'd like to be able to print in the next sort of 6-12 months, and then pick a size option that works for you. So you think, actually, I might do some A3 stuff later on, buy it now, so then you don't have to worry about it later. But if you're like, actually, I only do like, I don't know, kids' baby grows or something really small, then you might actually only need an A4, and then just go for the A4 option.
Exactly. So should we look at if there's any questions?
Let's go for it, yeah.
Yep, I'll let you double check.
Okay, someone would like to know if it will work on a blanket with a fluffy texture without flattening the section of the pile. So that's a really good question. And it is possible to do. It will be slightly easier with the lower heated platen that's going to come out next year, but that won't be available till later next year. But it all comes down to first of all, making sure you're using release paper, trying to cut the vinyl or the transfer as close to the edge of the actual design as possible. The reason you get a mark, it's normally excess transfer of vinyl. So that kind of the carrier on it is what's making the imprint sometimes. So anything you can do to make it as small as possible, or if, in a sense, if it's an A3 and A4, go as big as you possibly can. It's all about making sure that the parts of the blanket you don't want it to have heat and pressure applied to have any to be exposed to that heat. So it's a very delicate one. It is possible. And if you've got more questions about that, it's probably something we can go into a bit more detail offline. So send us an email to sales@happyfabric.co.uk and we can go into that. But there are lots of options. We've got more sturdy versions of release paper, which we have like a Teflon sheet that you can put over as well, which is really great for protecting. And it might just be, it's just playing around with the recipe a little bit there. So you might be actually, well, we always say don't go away from the recipe. If it's something really difficult like suede or a fluffy blanket in this instance, then sometimes it does make sense to take the pressure off, but do a few more like 5-second press until you get it right. The main thing is just to get a couple of blankets you don't mind breaking, and then try and fuse until you find the recipe that works for you. But it is absolutely possible.
I think the main thing is test as well, isn't it? Because we did, if you look at our Instagram page, we did a blanket recently it was quite soft, quite fluffy. So we weren't sure. So I did a test press and it worked absolutely brilliantly. And that was with multiple layers of heat transfer vinyl. So definitely have a look at that and what we did there.
And those towels you did recently as well.
Oh yeah, bath towels as well, bath mats, like things that you wouldn't normally think you can press. The main thing is that you're testing it first in a little corner just to make sure it can take the heat. And the general rule, if it can take the heat. That's
the most important. It really depends on the coating of the blanket in the first instance and how easy that can take the heat on there. Okay, I think we've got some questions from Facebook as well. Someone would like to know, what is the maximum temperature that we can set these presses to? So as we mentioned earlier, you start off at 93. So when you turn it on, always start at 93 because nothing needs to be applied lower than that. And it'll go all the way up to 221 degrees. So any of those watching and doing sublimation, you can easily do sublimation with this because you can set that pressure to be a little bit tougher. You can get that heat really nice and high. But you've got the whole range. Any heat transfer, they tend to start off about 120 degrees and go up to 160. Likewise with heat transfer vinyl, it's about 150 to 165, 185 at most anyway. So it's well within the boundaries to be able to do any heat application. So we have a question from Seamus. So we'd like to know if you can buy the A3 heat plate separately. So this is something that will be available next year. There will be the option in the future to be able to swap out your platens. It's not something that's currently available. This is something that will come in the future. I've got a question from Gary. He said that he's been working with some slightly fluffy felt material, and it's been working just fine. I remember speaking to Gary recently. He's been doing some great stuff with Christmas stockings, and he's got some really fantastic results with glitter there.
Awesome. Yeah, we see customers play around with loads of different materials, loads of different projects, and it is amazing the scope of things that you can actually do with a press. Some of them we haven't even thought of ourselves, which is just mad.
Okay, someone wants to know, will it arrive before Christmas? The good news is absolutely yes. So we have just had a big shipment of these arrive because we know lots of you are thinking about getting these either for Christmas presents for yourself or loved ones, or you're starting to think about what you want to do next year. You're thinking about starting your own business because these are the perfect tool for doing that. But we have got everything in stock, every single color, every single size. We've got it with and without the auto open. All you need to do is order by 4 p.m. and normally we'll send it that next day to arrive the following day. So always send a courier service so it gets you in perfect condition. And like Jamie mentioned, we do have a really good deal on at the moment. So there is a 15% discount that is being applied at checkout. So just add it to your basket, go to checkout, and it will take 15% off. So you could be looking at saving of £75 if you're going for this Auto A3 one, or even just £54 on the A4 manual one. So some really big savings because it's Cyber Monday today.
Yep, make sure you get your order in while the Black Friday sale's still on because it is such a good deal. Do we have any more questions before we wrap up?
Just got one about why would I use an auto open? So just to recap on this is something that a lot of sort of professionals really enjoy. So once you start to do this on a regular basis, you're turning your sort of hobby into small business. And you really want to just be able to get through a lot of that work. Is having that auto open feature is a real good, just a safety net in the back there, really. So as like I say, anything could be going on. It could be kind of put out fires somewhere else. The phone's going, the door goes, and you're like, I really need to just go and get that and deal with it. But having that option to just push that down and walk away from it and know that when it's finished applying, it's just going to pop back up. And it means that your t-shirt or whatever it is you have under is not going to burn. You're not going to melt anything. You're just going to be able to walk away. It can sit on there for as long as it needs to be because it's well away from the heat space here. So it's a really, really great feature that just gives you that peace of mind, really. And it just makes everything like a little bit easier, really. It's all about taking your hobby to the next level with an auto open option.
I'd say it takes the work off you a lot as well.
Yeah.
So if you imagine you've gone from an iron where you're applying pressure yourself with your arms, and then you've gone to something like a manual press, which is amazing. Again, like all you've got to do, pop it down, pop it back up again. Like Andy said, you can really do it with two fingers. And then you go all the way to the auto open that just lifts itself. So I think it's that journey, isn't it? Of just having to do less and less so that you can focus on what you want to focus on, which is, the designs on the t-shirts, and then ultimately, selling them, gifting them, whatever you're doing with the projects that you make. So, and
one great thing as well about having because all the pressure's done through the middle as well, it means that anyone that's watching that's got perhaps a cheap heat press already, and the perils of having that inaccurate pressure, because what happens normally when you pull a press down, because this part here is normally at the back of the press, where it means that the press comes down at the back first, and it kind of like goes like that to meet the level, and sometimes it pushes your designs forward. It doesn't get accurate pressure everywhere, but by having it through the middle, when it comes down, it's coming down directly through the middle. So that means that your design is not pushed or smushed. It's just straight down, apply the pressure, apply the heat, and your design's done perfectly that way.
So we could talk about these HappyPresses all day.
We use them every day. We could do one more application for everyone that's perhaps joined a little later, maybe, if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you do me the honour of threading the shirt?
Absolutely.
I'm going to cut off some glitter.
A reminder on this one. Take your t-shirt. Just going to thread it on here. Really nice and easy. So this is, like James said, this is a really great feature because it means you can isolate every part of it to get a nice flat surface. So we're just going to give it a quick pre-press under here with a bit of release paper on. We're going to be using our Happy Glitter this time.
I'm going to cut the roughest circle the world's ever seen, but just for...
So you could be using this for heat transfer vinyl, like Jamie's just about to do now. So in this instance, we can take the time down a bit. because it's a Happy glitter, which goes down at 150 degrees for 10 seconds.
It's a bit curly, this one.
So just pop that down. Because we've got that nice over-center pressure, it'll be really easy to handle any heat transfer vinyl. And we haven't even had the chance to cover vinyl today, but if anyone's interested, we do have the largest range of craft heat transfer vinyl anywhere in the UK. We have over 300 colors and finishes now. So if you want like a flex vinyl, you want a stretchy vinyl, glittered vinyl like this one is, you've got absolutely everything you could possibly need. Let's get a corner on this one.
Do you need nails to get it?
I do. I need some nails on that one. Yeah, we've got what we call a fashion vinyl. So anything you could possibly want, and we've got over 60 colors in some of them. The glitter's over 60 colors now. So again,
I love the glitter.
Perfect application every single time because you've got heat to the degree, you've got a timer, and you've got that pressure. So it means that no matter what you're putting under there, bags, hoodies, tea towels, fluffy blankets, you're going to be perfect every time with it.
Perfect. So, yep, this has been us today talking about the HappyPress 4s. We do also have HappyPress 2.1 that you can go and take a look at on the website as well. So they're at the other end of our price range. So I think they're normally at 222, and they also are under discount for Black Friday for the next day. So definitely check those out as well if you're wanting something a bit smaller. A benefit of those is they actually can fit into an IKEA Calyx unit, so they're quite easy to slip away, whereas these obviously will sit on a craft studio desk. So thank you so much for joining us. If you do have any more questions, like Andy said earlier, please do email us at sales@happyfabric.co.uk, or you can get in touch by social media as well. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yep, lovely.
It's been great to see you all. And yeah, hopefully we can go and do another live soon and talk you through the heat transfer vinyl and the transfers as well.